Manda's Movie Club featuring Dan.
Nicolas Cage, what do you do? What do you do, Nicolas Cage? Everything. We would like to talk about something new Nicolas Cage did recently. The Surfer, which was filmed here in Australia, I think in WA, and released in 2024, so pretty new. And starring Nicolas Cage, and the antagonist is Julian McMahon, who has since passed, so sad about that. He was an Australian hero. It is a thriller / suspense / horror. It has a lot of kind of 70s surfing film elements and feel to it.
Wake in Fright, very Australian.
Yeah, we had
Wake in Fright feel.
Period in the 70s where we had lots of cool movies like this that were low budget and a little bit creepy and weird, and the orange glow and the sun and all of these things going on were
very visceral kind of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's introing? And then we got around to it. We watched it. It is a great movie to showcase what Nick Cage is capable of, which is everything. He is capable of everything, and he is an actor that surpasses all genres, which you can't say about many actors. Lots of actors stay in their lane, and when you think about really well-known and renowned actors, yeah, and then you think of their actual filmographies, maybe they've just done a lot of dramas and been very serious a lot of the time. Or
where's Daniel Day-Lewis's Christmas romp?
They've just been a little bit creepy, just always. Or just always just happen to be the sexy guy that's on screen. Nick Cage isn't afraid to look a bit gross or a bit dirty. He is famous for having a little bit of rage in some of his wilder performances. We definitely get Nick Cage rage in The Surfer.
If you're after Cage rage, this is a fun
and
pick.
It is deserved. And something that we were talking about the other day, which I think was one of my main takeaways from The Surfer, which I think is strange. This movie is just kind of following his character, who is just called The Surfer. He doesn't have a name. Returning to his beachside community of his youth, and thinking that he's going to spend a lot more time there now with his young son, buy a big house that's overlooking the ocean, and I guess rebuild his life a little bit with that kind of nostalgia of where he grew up and used to surf and live a simpler life than the hardcore kind of business life that he's been living in the States. Fortunately, when he turns up and he goes to his favorite beach to have that nostalgic sharing of memories with his young son, finds that the locals at that beach are not happy to have him there, and that they have different views about how public the public beach is, and whether or not anyone deserves to be there. And then he kind of gets stuck there through a series of situationships.
Yeah.
I think situationship might be a relationship word, actually. So
yeah, situationships. Let's go with that.
But let's say situationships, because it is situationships with other characters, situationships with his vehicle, etc., etc. And that part of the movie I wasn't expecting, and I don't want to really go into it a lot because I do think people should enjoy it, but it is one of my main takeaways of why I enjoyed it so much, because it reminded me of a lot of older classic films where all the action takes place in one setting. You know, we aren't going lots of other places. We don't have scenes that take place elsewhere. He's basically just there. He's there at the beach and in the surrounds for most of the 99-minute running time. And I was saying to Dan, it's a little bit reminiscent to me of films like Rope, starring Jimmy Stewart, an Alfred Hitchcock classic, which also was a pioneer of one-shot cinema, because the whole movie, or most of the movie, is actually done with one shot. That's not the case in this movie, but once again, we're following one character's journey and kind of a creepy scenario, and we're very intimately stuck with him for the whole time. And I've always also linked Nick Cage and Jimmy Stewart in my mind. Jimmy Stewart's my favourite actor of classic cinema. Nick Cage is my favourite actor in modern day. And both of them can do anything. You know, Nick Cage has done comedy and romance and action and sci-fi and horror and drama and black comedy. And he's been a superhero. And Jimmy Stewart, he never got to be a superhero. It's a shame. But he had that sort of range of film too, and he was really good at being an everyman. So The Surfer is enjoyable. It's enjoyable. It is intense. Maybe you need to be in the right mindset for it. But it's definitely an enjoyable piece of cinema, and I think we should keep an eye on the Irish director, Lorcan Finnegan, and the screenwriter, who's also Irish, whose name I just forgot. Because, yeah, it's very tight.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah. Not much else I can say with this. I know this is the Nicolas Cage segment, though, but I also just want to, as you mentioned there, Julian McMahon, great Australian actor, has since passed, and I want to just shine a light as well on how great he was in this film. Like a complete, usually he's the very almost like business, handsome, smart kind of. If you know him from the Fantastic Four movie, where he has that very sinister, evil but polished kind of look to him, or if you've seen the TV show Nip Tuck, where he's the plastic surgeon, very polished, very clean, but he plays this this sinister beach rat, complete I don't know, what would you call it, a Jordan Peterson meets
this movie touches on a lot of
cult-like figure,
toxic masculinity,
Charlie Manson-y kind of thing almost. Yeah,
cult characters, and I guess what is it? People of character and persuasion.
Yeah.
I was just going to say
he just matched Nicolas Cage's energy and then took it up a level each time.
Yeah,
which
they're a great
thought they
match.
would just. It's such a shame that they couldn't. If it's one of those movies, when you get those partnerships together, the chemistry's so good, and then they appear in other films together.
Yeah,
For me, I think that's one of the. Obviously it's very sad for his fan, but I just think to myself, man, imagine another Cage McMahon.
Yeah, I think this was his final film, but I think great for this to be his final film because he really went out on a high.
Big time.
Because his performance is great and big. His performance is big, but the movie calls for it. The screenwriter, is Thomas Martin. He is also from Ireland, and great. The script is really strong. A lot of the characters are heightened, but in a way that adds to that eeriness of you not knowing what's going on. It's a very strong film. I recommend it.
Can I show you what I'm going to do with the box?
Buddy's in front of the box.
He's in front of the box for you?
Yep.
Okay.
That's where the bunny is.
My bunny is going to tip it up, and it's going to go ding-a-ding-a-ding, ding, 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 ding.